We already ate the cake.
Already.
All right, hey everybody, thank you for coming. We are Big Box Studios, and we are going to be presenting to you our game still in progress, Metadroid. I'm Edwin Carvalda. I am the lead game designer and programmer on the team. This is Jay, gameplay programmer, and Manny as well as gameplay programmer. And we have our story guru Alex here, and our story producer, audio engineer. And yes, we have a lot of good stuff to show you today. So Metadroid, this game is a first-person shooter that primarily focuses on dual-wielding mechanics, where you get to switch off and choose. You get to play around with different weapons that your character has. Pretty much, our game we are developing for the PC, Mac, and are going to be porting our game to the web also, so that you guys can play it without having to actually install the game on your system. And yeah, and I'll go ahead and just hand it off to Alex to go ahead and explain to you the story of our game.
Okay, so for those who have managed to come to the previous presentations, you're going to have a lot more for story this week. We have an introduction video which we'll be happy to show you, which will go over the narrative. It's a very noir feel, kind of, let's say, ode to Max Payne. We have a character who wakes up in the future, and he has no idea that he has been upgraded with these new abilities to harness a new fuel source called Meta, which is used to constantly replenish his energy to fire his weapons. Throughout the game, he will be pushed through, by a character who is constantly telling him what to do. Her name is Faith, and there is a love interest between the two that you later on come to find out. And while at the same time, he finds out that his brother is the antagonist of the game, who is constantly trying to make him think twice about what he is doing, because he's trying to control humanity with this new power at the same time. So, yeah, basically Kane is a soldier who's been upgraded to be an android, pretty much, half man, half machine. He is the hero of the game, and he is fighting for humanity. He's fighting to free humanity from this thing called the network, which is something that humans are put into once they are forcefully upgraded, like drones, like the Borg from Star Trek, pretty much. They're put onto this network, and they pretty much go about their daily lives. They have no idea. They have no free will. They're just there to serve a purpose in society. Yep. So we're going to show the game, what we have so far, and I'm very excited to show the voice acting that has actually been added to the game.
So this
actually, I have an intro video as well. The intro video is what you, upon starting the campaign, there's no graphic novel art in there. That should be in there by week 7. We have a professional artist hard at work creating that. But for now, we do have the voice sequence done. So enjoy that.
So this will be our intro video for the game.
You can, if you want to skip the splash screen when it first starts to play. Mira, really?
Normally, when you're locked away, you have the freedom to think about how you got there. You have the freedom to think about where you went wrong and what you could have done to change the outcome. But in these times, freedom is a relic, a thing people talk about at the dinner table, like the good old days and famous sporting events. Today, you sleep, and you wake up like it was yesterday. You wake up as if nothing happened, and the past is nothing more than an inconvenient blur. But in my case, that inconvenient blur would be extended indefinitely. It would be extended so far back that a man's life could be rewritten. Everything I am, everything I was, and everything I would become would all be forced to take a back seat on a runaway stagecoach through hell. This is where my story begins. lost, confused, and alone. Well, almost alone.
The music, by the way, is from Max Payne 3. Want to get the drama right. And that whole sequence is the Metadroid logo pretty much coming up. And the voice sequence is up. Voice acting.
Oh.
Up and at 'em, soldier.
Soldier?
At this point, we'll actually have graphic novel art. Everything that's happening that's being said will be in
What are you
graphic novel
talking
form.
about?
Do you know who you are? Where you are?
No, I don't. I didn't. The questions, easy as they were, stumped me. She would have been better off asking me for the meaning of life.
Damn. You're too late.
What?
Nothing. You just have to trust me on this. Your name is Crow. You've been asleep, and you've been held prisoner for quite some time. Is there a man in the room with you?
There was. He was dead, and there was nothing I could do. I don't know why, but it angered me. More so than I would like to admit. Yes, but I don't think he's with us any longer.
That's a shame. Cody was a good soldier. A good friend.
You know, for some reason I get that. Are you going to tell me what the hell is going on? Where are you? Who are you? How the hell am I hearing you? And what the hell am I? What's happened to me? The nightmares that were in my hands felt so foreign that it was earth-shattering at first. I felt reality begin to spin out of control. It was almost like waking up in someone else's body and being expected to know your identity and just move along. I felt the frustration rising inside me. I was going to have to take baby steps.
Jesus. Crow, stay calm. Take a deep breath and just think for a moment. Does the name Cedric sound familiar? Does the name Cedric?
Yes. He's my brother. Like I said, baby steps.
Good. If you can remember that, the rest will come with time.
That's a relief. I think.
Okay, Crow. From here on out, I'm going to address you by your code name. Does the name Kane sound familiar?
Yes. What the hell was that? A jolt of energy passed through me like a lightning bolt. It was like a shot of adrenaline and ginkgo biloba. I suddenly saw things more clearly and had enough pep in my step to want to get the hell out of the oversized test tube I've called home for however long. I was also beginning to like whatever changes I may have gone through.
I'm just reactivating you for duty. Let's put a quick diagnostic.
Wait, what?
So yeah, campaign, a lot of graphic novel art, and the game begins at that point. And of course, you'll be able to skip it if you're not into story, you just want to get right to the game. We know that there are people who don't really care for story, they just want to blow things up. We have that for you too.
So, without further ado, we will go ahead and get to the game and show off everything.
By the way, the Faith character is in the room. Her name is Lydia. Raise your hand. She did a great job. We got a lot of good content from her.
You missed everything, bros.
Oh, I saw most of it.
We came at the end like,
Hey, I had to go out and eat some pizza.
you jerk.
Kane, this base is called
Hey, what can I say? The CIS presentation has pizza.
blast your way out.
Blast my way out.
Just aim and think about shooting. Your weapons are controlled by your neural network, like controlling a muscle.
So at this point, we're going to have this door open after she speaks.
As if she's opening the door.
Right, so then we're going to go through.
Oh, and watch out!
Why are they shooting at me?
That's a drone. Blast it!
Okay, this is cool.
By the way, if you haven't noticed, your metacore generates a constant shield to protect you from incoming fire. The top bar on your heads-up display shows the status of your shield. If it gets too low, take cover, or you'll get hurt. That elevator leads to what used to be security. Press the switch to call the elevator. Good. It still works. Get in and press the switch inside.
Sorry for the loud sound effects.
How are you feeling?
This meta stuff is incredible. How long have I been like this?
3 years. You and your brother are the only ones. It was designed to save us from the tech rebellion.
Something it didn't work.
Kind of. I'll explain later. For now, stay on your toes. You have a wave of spider bots
pretty much, as you can see, Faith is actually guiding the player through the game step by step, acting kind of like it's as a tutorial, so that you know what to do, where to go. That's the concept for the whole game. Even later levels should be telling you what to do constantly. The next room is kind of like a junction.
There should be a
to,
door on your left. That'll take you to the surface.
There we go.
It's
telling
locked.
you right there.
Damn. Let me access the schematics.
No rush. Take your time, Faith.
Since the game is still
The
there,
other robot is like,
there should be a
I
door
just want to go
straight ahead.
home.
Walk by some junk.
Block? Okay, cool. You should enjoy this. Deploy magnetic bomb. Mag bomb for short. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna skip that guy. Alright, so once at this point there's gonna be some block debris here that we're gonna add in, and so once you use the mag bomb, it pretty much teaches you how to use the first weapon here, what it does is repel. It'll go ahead and pull the enemies together, and you can blow them up when they all get pulled in. So once you use it, then you'll be able to.
Okay, that works.
Follow that tunnel and make your way to security control. There should be an override to open that door.
So here you'll hit this switch here to go ahead and unlock that locked door out in that hallway.
That it?
Yes, that should do it. Past that door leads to the transport bridge. Cross that bridge and you're home free.
Fresh air sure sounds good right about now. All these weapons are great for medium range. What if they get up close and personal?
Glad you asked. Switch to your particle blade. That should come through in a pinch. Now follow those stairs.
Alright, so next we're going to show off the next weapon, which is our particle sword. We still have some work to do with the animations and things like that when it comes to swapping with the arms. But you go up to an enemy, you can go ahead and just go ahead and cut them. Take them out. Everybody switch back.
Another charge.
Here we go. So those guys up.
Mind you, the weapon, the sword, actually uses more meta, so if you use it, you can't use any other weapons until the meta charges. That's why it's not broken, it's just the meta is overused.
Oh, and one last thing. If you ever need to spread out firepower, try your mirror orb. It's a little less accurate, but it can come through when necessary. Just deploy and shoot it with your blaster. Now, find your way to the elevator. Show them what a soldier can do.
We'll show up our mirror orb. We have an updated version of it, but this is the one that we used to have. When you shoot it, any projectile that hits it will scatter about in a bunch of different directions. With our new one, we're getting rid of the ability for it to actually continue to travel when it's being shot at. So it'll actually, when you shoot it, it'll stay in that last position where you shot it, and then go ahead and scatter the bullets everywhere. So at the moment, this is an actual fully updated version of it.
Yeah, you just died.
Yeah. Okay. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to
Now follow the bridge to the elevator.
So in this whole scene here, this whole part is supposed to be this major battle that's going to take place. And you're going to come through, you're going to come under a lot of heavy fire from different directions and things like that. And you notice we have props on the bridge now. If you've noticed, a lot of these objects here, they're white. That's just because they're not textured just yet. So don't mind it, not looking 100% pretty.
I'll take care of it.
But yeah, we're just really trying to get things working and in place for now.
Yes, the tank over the bridge.
Where's the bats?
Not yet. Well, the bats are coming soon. Promise.
So at the end, you'll come here and you'll hit the last sequence, which is final elevator, and it'll play the cutscene at the end. And this is what we have right now for pause menu.
And once you hit the bridge, like once you get in the bridge, Faith will say that you did it, and then a new sequence will begin, like an end level sequence to separate the first level from the second level, and that's where we introduce Mr. Jack Ecob as Abel, the evil brother, who does a brilliant job of making a very menacing character. And we actually had that recorded, but
Brilliant.
we'll save that for the next presentation.
So I'd like to open the floor for any comments, questions, concerns.
Are you guys still working on the boss?
No, we decided to cut him off because it was really uncooperative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because he fell off your bridge?
Yes. He's going through rehab and he's doing okay.
So are you guys planning to bring him back in, like,
If we have
at all? Or is it just going to be that big battle of random people and then we'll just see him in the sequence?
If we have time, we'll definitely incorporate it. If not, then what we're going to do, we're going to add another enemy we had in mind and add more enemies just to compensate for the difficulties that the boss was supposed to give.
Okay.
Maybe you should show some of the social network stuff up too, while we have the time.
Yeah. If by any chance, if anyone hasn't gotten a copy of our high concepts, be sure to let Manny know.
Yeah.
Let Manny know, and there was information on there on how to follow us if you want to keep up to date with what we are doing, because we constantly are always putting any updates that we do on the game. We keep that tracked on our Facebook and our YouTube account and our Twitter. Come check out our Facebook page. And by any chance, if you ever, forget, the link there or anything like that, if you ever want to just find us, just type in Big Boss Studios, separate words, and look for this picture here, and go ahead and click the like button, and you'll be able to follow us all the time. Anytime we post anything, you'll see it first. And so on our Facebook page, this is, us just putting updates in our game. We put a lot of pictures and videos. This is Alex's wife with our recording studio booth.
We call it the B for Big Boss Booth in a Box. Pretty much all it is a cardboard box and a sweater diced up so that it lines the box perfectly. You put the condenser mic inside, and then you actually have what we would like to call a bootleg recording booth. It works very well. It's a good way to save money. And if you thought this sound was decent for the gameplay, that's pretty much what we used. The video actually here shows some of it in action. The setup that we were using to get most of the recordings. Everything that we do is usually put on the YouTube. Hopefully, the next senior team who works on a senior project can go to our page and see a week by week, knowing what would be expected of them. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we try to put as many videos as possible. Like this is a video demonstration of our alpha version. It doesn't have everything that we have now, but we'll keep adding more video to show more updates of the game as we progress. Anyone have any other comments, questions?
Actually, I haven't been able to make a lot of presentations, so I apologize.
Oh yeah, and if you missed some, you can.
You can go. Each presentation is recorded as it is now.
My major question is, working with Unity, have you had any major issues actually working with Unity?
What do you mean, like
implementing your own objects, code?
Well, for me personally, I haven't ran into very much issues. If there is an issue where I don't know how to do something, their documentation is very good. And there's also plenty of videos out there, especially on YouTube or anything like that. There's a lot of support out there if you run into issues. But as for me, I haven't really had issues. Have you guys had issues?
The ball and stuff.
Yeah, that's like any programmers,
The only
there's
minor,
always issues.
The only minor hiccup that I could foresee that we actually kind of ran into this afternoon is we had an instance where it didn't save properly. So luckily we had a clean copy on yours, but Jay's, it kind of got rid of the content for the level.
Right. Oh, but that was in Unity. That was actually in Tortoise.
Yeah, so if there is a major issue with Unity, when it comes to the free version, the major issue is how you source control. Because what we're using is Tortoise SVN, and the issue with it is that you're only able to, with Unity, have one project open at a time. So when it comes to being able to pass the project back and forth, there can sometimes be issues with making sure that all the scripting or any models that get passed by things can get lost if you don't go through the right channels properly. So yeah,
One
it's got to be sure.
problem I found, and it's not much of a problem, it's more like it just wouldn't do it. It's with animation. On the part of the blade, it wouldn't scale them down for me to hide and I switch to the gun. So I have to create a secondary arm for it. The thing is, Unity uses the primary mesh that you give it, and then whatever animation you tell it to do, it will apply it to the bone structure and change the mesh that way, but it won't change it if it doesn't is not attached to the bone. Like the blades are not attached directly like that to any bone for it to bend. So that's why they just take big. It wouldn't do the animation to scale them down. So I created the secondary arm and then it just switched from one arm to the other. That's the only thing that I got. That
I can talk to you
else-
more about it later too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Questions, please. We look forward to your questions and comments.
How's the web version going? Did you all figure out the issues with the lighting?
Not at the moment yet because we
I'm
still
saying
like
final.
with our production plan, we have planned to any development we're doing, we're trying to get that all done by the end of this week.
Okay.
So anything that needs to be added to the game is going to be all done by this week. Anything that hasn't made it by the end of the week, we're gonna have to, we're not gonna be able to get to it because we're planning for after this week until the very end, until week 8, is to fix any bugs, any bugs, issues, any glitches, to improve gameplay, to make sure that it's as polished as we can get it by week 8.
Gotcha. So web is still in the works.
Web is still in recess. But our goal is to have it completed by week 8.
So anybody can
web version.
Yeah, so anybody can come into the presentation and play the game for us, so they can just show how it looks on the web.
And it'd be pretty cool, we're having a presentation here and we have, a couple computers open and you guys can play our game on the web. That's our goal. Our major goal is to get this ported to the web so that it's easily accessible and you don't even have to click a download button, you just click a link and stream it from your web browser.
Talk to Mark. He might let you do that. It'll say no.
It does.
Oh, nice. So, we are hoping to get the game in your hands as soon as we can.
The graphic content, the graphic novel portion of it, how close is that to being finished?
I'm hoping it should be at least ready for week 7, at least the introduction and cover art. The end sequence, which might not be necessary to have all the end level graphic art. I can probably just do a teaser and trim down the end sequence, just to get a couple of snippets to kind of like tease the next level. But yeah, the graphics, the beginning sequence, I would say well before week 7. Well before. Okay.
Professor Gross?
I'm saving mine for the final presentation.
Okay.
I want to really prick them then.
Okay.
Especially if there's no pizza and no bats.
Bats are coming. The bats are coming.
Bats?
Yes.
I would suggest you might want to throw in something extra that serves no purpose except to clutter and distract the people.
Oh.
Like those little spider things in Diablo and such. Who loves those little spider things? That you can step on, they squish, but they really don't serve any purpose.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dominate those things.
You also mentioned stalactites and stalagmites, but you didn't want to do that.
I was actually thinking stalactites as a environmental hazard.
me and
Would have been
Jim
cool.
did.
Blow away a stalagmite, have it drop on something.
Definitely.
Which was kind of going with my next question is, I see that you have some props there, like the tanks and stuff around on the bridge. Are you going to do any type of interacting where you could probably like blow that up? Or?
So far, the only thing that they serve is kind of like blockades, kind of like hide from the enemy as they're going. Because like I said, if we can get the boss in there, we're gonna make up with a lot of enemies. So to make up for that difficulty. So having those there will serve great, to hide from the enemies.
It wasn't the original concept to have destructibles and things that you can use to your advantage. Right now, we're still trying to get everything working 100% before we start adding that stuff in, which we might have to cut out because we're in the final 4 weeks and we want to have everything polished and complete. We might not have time within this 4 weeks. We're going to continue to work on this after. We have plans to. So don't be surprised to see that in future iterations of the game.
Definitely, yeah.
Yep.
I'm really impressed with the content that you all produced for this meeting. The audio was fantastic. You guys did a really great job with the voice acting on that. The writing was really tight. I like it. I can't wait to see the illustrations matched up with that. That's going to be really fantastic. So the way that you integrated it into the game, where the voice acting provides the narrative and the story as the player progresses, or the instruction, I should say, as the player progresses, is fantastic. That's wonderful. That took your game and really elevated it, in my mind, to the next level. So I'm really, really excited to see how this comes together now in the next couple of weeks. I think you guys have a stellar project in place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Any particular name for the bats you want to get? Any name for a bat?